Well, we all know the two basics that are absolute: death and taxes. One we can't prevent, as after all, it's part of life. And the other is necessary, to an extent, to operate a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. But in those hallowed words, there is no subtext for how the government is operated, financially speaking. Now, as most of us signed, sealed, and delivered our taxes last week, we are acutely aware of the cost of operating the government. But it's that very query that the government leaders in Washington, the State House, and even City Hall cringe at. Yes, where are those dollars going? Both national network and local appearances under his belt, a litany of stories, articles, and write-ups. Adam Andrzejewski joins us this morning from openthebooks.com. Good morning, my friend. Man, I'm telling you, some of these numbers are staggering what our tax dollars are going for.
Well, absolutely. And you brought it up in the introduction, Tyler. Look, transparency is important because it asks the two key questions in government. Where are your dollars going?
Right.
And are there instances of taxpayer abuse or corruption?
Okay. Well, let's jump in with a couple of things that jump right off the bat. I love this. The urban farm subsidies. Urban farm subsidies. Now, in South Carolina, $7.9 billion is agriculture. Here we got a lot of farms. It's certainly rich with that sort of lifestyle. New York City, I'm not sure the Big Apple's got a lot of dairy farms.
We did a report. It's called our Federal Transfer Report, Farm Subsidies, and we studied downtown, midtown Manhattan in New York City. We studied Chicago and Washington, D.C. This is what we found. We found that farm subsidies don't have anything to do with the family farmer anymore. Doesn't have anything to do with preserving a stable food supply. The Rockefeller family at 30 Rockefeller Plaza received $500,000 of farm subsidies.
Well, I mean, they've got billions, but what are they doing with what are they doing? Buying their own dairy cow for the roof? I mean, where's it going?
The government program has become so big right now, Tyler, that wealthy individuals have made the farm subsidy part of their investment portfolio. And it's not only wealthy individuals, it's also nonprofit organizations like the National Audubon Society. They received $960,000 of farm subsidy, including New York-based tobacco subsidies for a conservation group, tobacco subsidies, and lamb slaughter subsidies for their lamb slaughter farm in Minnesota.
Okay, wait a minute. The lamb, they slaughter lambs. Let me get this straight. But yet they're all about conservation.
This is true. The National Audubon Society.
Too many lambs. How are they getting this money? How are they securing this money? How is Rockefeller getting the money? How is Louis Farrakhan getting $317,000 delivered to his house?
This is a federal program on steroids. For instance, when we studied Chicago, we found that the founder of the Nation of Islam, the Reverend Louis Farrakhan, at his home address in Hyde Park, he had established 2 public charities and received $317,000 of farm subsidy at his home address. Now, the IRS chapter, the Cincinnati office of the IRS, they don't have a record of him even being a public charity.
Surely there's got to be auditing that's done, Adam. Sure, there's got to be where, okay, he's got this. There's no record somewhere. Somebody forgot to dot an I, cross a T somewhere. Surely.
Well, I'm proud to say that the Kelly File, Megyn Kelly, on the Fox News channel, the parent company, she called for a federal investigation, and that's something that we've called for as well.
Okay. And what are you hoping to find with that? And do you think anything actually is going to stop? Because I know the spending's been going on forever. It happens on the local level. We'll talk about that in a few. But I mean, the reality is anything going to put the finger in the leak?
Well, look, it's not only farm subsidies, Tyler. It's the Fortune 100. We just did another report which made the front page of Investors Business Daily. Since the year 2000, $1.3 trillion flowed to the Fortune 100, and the columnist called he called the Fortune 100 welfare queens. He said Republicans have missed the boat, that they've forgotten the definition of crony capitalism versus free market capitalism.
Let me ask you this. Okay, by definition, Fortune 100 generally would be a for-profit entity, a for-profit business. Are they not responsible for earning their own money? I have a small business. Can I call up Washington and say, hey, man, I need a few $100,000?
Well, we all remember Mitt Romney. He said 47% were on the gravy train, right? Now when it comes to the Fortune 100, 99 out of 100 were on the gravy train. There was only one. It was a pipeline company. And through 2012, they didn't receive any money from the federal government, and now they're not a part of the Fortune 100. They just fell off it.
$21 billion in subsidies, $1.3 trillion to these four. It's an amazing amount of money, and it's Washington. Sure, you know what? That's up in Washington. Well, it's happening right here in the Palmetto State. We're going to talk about that here with openthebooks.com. Adam Andrzejewski's here talking about that. We're going to break down some of the things, some of the money getting spent right here in the Palmetto State, even in the city of Columbia. When we come back, stay with us. The good news is, if you want to go to the Kevin Schuler School of Cosmetology and Hair Design, there's a lot of federal funding that's out there for you. And some of it's okay. You want to get educated. Certainly you can do that. But there's a lot more spending that goes on right here in the Palmetto State and in the city of Columbia, town of Lexington, pretty much anywhere you are, including Washington, D.C. But transparency is the key. Where are our tax dollars going? Don't forget, we are the ones who open up our wallet and we fund it. We allow the government to do that. I think we have a right to know where that dollar is going, and so does Adam Andrzejewski from OpenTheBooks.com. We just went through some staggering figures up in Washington, things that are getting in New York City, and things getting spent on things that don't make any sense. But it does happen right here. It's not just a New York City, Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C. problem.
Absolutely. You referenced the College of Cosmetology and Hair Design. The tuition on their website is $16,000 a year, and that rivals any public university in the state probably. And we took a look last night at $12 million worth of federal Pell Grants flowing into that College of Cosmetology. Now, you don't get a 2-year degree, you don't get a 4-year degree, you get a license to cut hair, be a beautician,
which,
do
by
massage.
the way, for me, that's important. I want my hair cut right. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth
right.
it.
And multi-millions of dollars flowing in federal student loans.
Sure, that's a good idea. We know we're in the wrong business, Adam. I think we need to open up a hair studio, and we'll be good to go. A lot of things happen on the state level. Nikki Haley. Now, she actually almost does it right.
Doing my research for the program, $106,000 as related to the other 50 governors in the country. She's 41st out of 50 governors. $106,000 for the governor of South Carolina. That's not a lot of money.
Right, and in fact, it's interesting when you compare, say, for instance, the folks who make money in the city of Columbia versus the governor of the state of South Carolina. She actually pales in comparison.
Absolutely. I think we have got 12 city employees that out-earn Governor Haley. And in fact, the PR director, and I really question why the city needs a PR director. If you're doing a good job.
Have you read the papers lately? Just throwing that out there.
The PR director out-earns Governor Haley.
Right, and that blows my mind as well, that, you know, you got these people, and Columbia's not a large city in comparison. I mean, we're market-wise, for television, we're mid-70s. We're nowhere near Atlanta, Charlotte. Really, we're a small town.
Well, it's a modern city. It's the state capital, and the former city manager made $175,000.
Right.
So he out-earned every governor of the 50 states, except for the ones in New York, California, and my home state of Illinois.
So so a lot of times governors make a little less, and so the former city mayor of Columbia out-earned governors across the country.
Well, I think it's an outrage.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's talk a little bit about sports, because, you know, it's South Carolina. I mean, you've probably heard of Steve Spurrier, right?
Very successful,
out there.
I have to say. So Steve Spurrier, I think it's a great example. He makes $350,000 on base salary. The women's basketball coach, she also makes $350,000. Dawn Staley. Just to put that in comparison, that the athletic director at the University of Illinois, the flagship university in Illinois where I'm from, he retired on a pension of $400,000 last year.
That's his pension. That means he's making considerably more when he's actually, you know, when he's working.
So I'm impressed with Steve Spurrier. I'm ready to become a Gamecock fan.
I think Janet Park would be pretty happy with that as well. Of course, now Steve makes multiple millions on other things.
Right. But at least on his pensionable salary, he's not taking it out of the wallet to the taxpayer.
Right. Real quick, we got just a couple of seconds left. Real quick, break down the retirement system. Who is pulling some money out for retirement, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a public employee, a police officer, you're paying in the retirement system?
Well, I think this is where taxpayer abuse is really happening here in South Carolina. You got two people managing the assets in the state workers' retirement plan, and this should upset every single annuitant at the state level. Those two people pulled $1 million of total compensation last year. You've got 17 people managing the money in the state pension system that out-earn $172,000 a year. I think that's wrong.
And if you make a pension in the state, you know you're nowhere near $1 million or $172,000. You're just
well, they've been criticized for the high fees on their program, the high-risk investments, and now we learned that they're pulling hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Adam Andrzejewski, OpenTheBooks.com. We're going to put links for you at WACH.com, but OpenTheBooks.com, you've got an app you can download and just kind of track where this money's going, whether it's Columbia, state of South Carolina, Illinois, or Washington, D.C. There is phenomenal amounts of money going somewhere. Just know, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. You can argue that all day, but at least we want to know where it's going. I appreciate
now
you
we
coming
can see
in.
it.
There you go. Thank you very much for coming in this morning.
Thanks
Absolutely.
for your interest.
Stick around. We're got Good Day Columbia is coming back. In fact, your Meatball is going to be transparent with the forecast. I promise you that. Stay right here.